in life, there's all these forces and all these things that are moving around us and moving through us that we really, as individual people, we really don't have much control over, if we have any control at all. And a big misconception is that we need to control these things in order to have a fulfilling existence or to stay healthy. Actually, everything in the universe is already here to support your well-being and your health. Um, and that includes uncomfortable things and dramatic things and even potentially life-threatening things as well, because they all have this quality of getting you to put down your limitations and to get out of these conceptual restrictions that you create for yourself. Because the thing about life, things are going to happen. Pain is going to happen. Pleasure is going to happen. Windfalls will come to you, and then other things will be taken away. And it's really the biggest obstacle in any of these motions of life, in any of these experiences of life, is your own resistance towards it. Because the thing is if you could stop all the things that you don't want to, if you could stop all the unpleasant things, I mean, then we'd all live in a utopia already. The fact that we as a human collective don't already live in a utopia, it's not due to a lack of effort. Many people, and you and I included in our own ways, have been trying to make life better. We've been making efforts and following the procedures and doing the meditations and doing the inner work and doing the outer work, and we've all been doing things, or at the very least allowing things that we feel are going to, elevate the vibration of all beings everywhere. And yet, the fact that we don't live in a physical utopia, that is not indicative of any failure on our part. What I've come to find is that this reality, maybe this three-dimensional, this physical earth, this whatever you want to call it, it's not meant to be a utopian existence. This is just a temporary, maybe just a big transitional phase that we undergo as spirits. It's not really meant to be a friction-free transition. It's kind of meant to be what it is. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't improve upon the experience that we're having here. It doesn't mean that, that people aren't going, it doesn't mean that we can't work on ourselves and work on the whole thing. That's not at all what I'm saying. But what it does mean is that no matter how utopian you can make this world and make this life, there will always be some undercurrent of agitation or frustration or just boredom in general that somebody somewhere is going to exhibit, and then that's going to start the whole process of separation over again. This realm is one of distinction and of strong physical differences. There's always going to be the potential for somebody somewhere to kind of go away from the established flow of things and do their own thing. And even if utopia was presented and utopia became normal, there would always be someone or something that would come along and challenge that. And it could even just be a natural disaster. It may have happened before in the past. It's actually quite likely that it's happened before in the past, that we've had more advanced civilizations and cities, and that things have been far different in the past than what we've been led to believe, and yet all those places have changed and fallen, and sometimes those civilizations fell because of their own hubris and because of their own arrogance. Other times it was just some natural disaster came along and wiped them out, and could have been a wonderful place to live before that time. So we really don't know exactly what happened or why it happened, but it does come back to, you know, just the fact that things are always subject to change in this three-dimensional world, this physical reality, you know, and it's never going to be just a utopian existence outside of ourselves any more than it's always going to be pleasurable and bright inside of ourselves as well. Because everything that we experience outside, we can experience inside, and vice versa as well. So it's, you know, it's not, at least what I've found, and I feel that this is, you can equate this to a universal teaching as well, because it's bigger than me personally. But, you know, the thing is that none of us can really stay in a pleasurable state all the time. And because anytime you try to stay in one state, inevitably the energy that was fresh and flowing and that was coming into you, it then, you know, it meets resistances and it becomes stagnant. And then we wonder why we feel stale, you know. It's like because you have to let go of the past in order to open up to the future. And the future is always flowing into you in this present moment. And in fact, we equate the future with a sense of freshness and newness and new possibilities. And yet, all of that freshness can only occur in the moment, because the moment is where it's all happening. It's all renewing, it's all regenerating. And the whole idea of the past, it's really just fresh energy that's been sitting around for a little while. And we keep going back to it and telling stories about it, using the freshness of this moment to tell kind of stale stories about old energy that we really need to let go, you know. So the past is not necessarily a physical thing. Now you can get into a lot of, like, is there a living record of the past that's just inherent in the stars and in the fabric of reality? It very well could be. But as far as our individual personalities and our individual selves, you know, it's like our individual past is usually just like memories that we're conjuring up in the present moment. And usually what I find, you know, is like if I just kind of embrace the present moment, like anything that is not useful, like any kind of memories or any kind of old energies that aren't useful, they just start flowing through. And so the memories that do persist, if any memories do persist in that moment, are usually just ones that are like just help me to be more grateful and to embody gratitude for life, because it's very joyous to be present in the moment. And so you kind of have a greater appreciation for where you've been, and, you know, those wonderful moments that you spent with your family and all the things that have happened in your life to get you to where you are right now, feeling the joy of this moment. And all the things that seem to be, all these seemingly negative or heavy impressions that seem to tell they tell this false narrative about, like, oh, you know, I'm not worth it because when I was 12 I did this thing and whoa, I really messed up there. You know, all that stuff just kind of flows away because you realize that that's really just stale energy. There's like literally anytime you think of a problem that you've had in life, either right now or in the past, it's all been because something within you that wanted to flow was not being allowed to flow. That's basically the whole thing. Either somebody was oppressing you, or you were oppressing yourself, or you just had a misconception about something and you hesitated when it was time to make a big decision, and yada yada yada. So there's really no way that you're going to quote-unquote solve any of that by suppressing yourself in this moment. It just compounds the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't shame yourself into joy. You can't beat yourself up into health. You know, you can't kick yourself around and then be like, oh wow, I'm so grateful for that. You know, no, it's just Like if you, like you have to be kind to yourself, you know? And kindness is not an indulgence. It's not laziness. Because to be lazy and to be like needlessly indulgent, that's not a kindness. That's actually kind of a cruelty because it's like you're trying to feed yourself on like white sugar memories and you know just like indulging in things that ultimately are fool's gold. Like no, it's like you be kind to yourself so that you have the energy and the proper clarity in life to see what's good for you and what's not. Like being kind to yourself doesn't mean you give yourself a tub of ice cream whenever you want it. That's actually not a very kind thing at all because it's not going to be good for you. Being kind is like getting up and stretching your limbs and going outside and you know honoring the sun and dancing in the rain and you know pushing yourself when it's necessary, giving yourself rest when it's necessary. And then when it's all said and done, then you want a little bit of ice cream, okay, you know? Like there's room for the sweeter kind of things in life too, but it's like it's just it has to all be in balance. And when we talk about kindness, we talk about being present, we talk about being yourself. It's really just about being in harmony, in alignment, being balanced, being present, being fulfilled. And it can never really be anywhere else than where you are right now. Embracing this moment in all the pain and all the pleasure and all the joys, all the heartbreaks, all the different little things. Because it's all just the same life energy, just recalibrating itself, balancing itself out, purifying itself, cleaning itself up. And you just have to get out of the way of that process. And you'll see that providence is flowing to you. Providence is flowing through you also. In many cases, we're waiting for life to shower us in blessings when we're the one that is meant to shower others in blessings. We're waiting for life to give us the golden apple, and yet we are the ones who hold the seeds. And so, you know, we're like waiting for the magic. Oh, when are the wizards going to show up? When are the dancers going to show up? When's all the beautiful things going to show up? And it's like the beauty, you are already that. All you have to do is just start expressing it.